Get a paid subscription at bernie.substack.com, and now you will get behind-the-scene videos emailed to your inbox, and you're liable to see just about anything. Whoa! Get out! Get out! Don't get out! Keep that. What's going on? So I've got less than 2 days to get it all together. I'm nervous because I've never done anything like this before. Nighttime and hot. Another red light. Yellow flies. Okay, he's dead.
Since white light counts, don't they?
Yes, that's what they are. They're very. They're like the great whites of the insect world.
Right on my arm.
All right, I want to show you something unbelievable. Panama City Commission just had a meeting yesterday, and oh my goodness, it cracks me up. Do you know how long the meeting took? Usually, look, I think it's reasonable for a city like Panama City every couple of weeks. I mean, really, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, because most cities shouldn't be doing so much stuff, shouldn't be involved in so many projects, shouldn't be buying polluted property, shouldn't be trying to control everybody's life at every turn and enrich their local financiers. I mean, they shouldn't take that long. However, the reason they lasted about 2 hours under the previous mayor is because everything was lined up, right? Everybody knew who was going to vote for what. Now they're actually hashing it out, and I love it. I love it. I'm hearing that the commissioners are miserable. The new mayor, Doc Rowan, we should file an ethics charge on him for running meetings so long. I mean, they're miserable. It was, what, 7 hours, 8 hours? How long was the meeting? I think it was 7 hours long. Oh, this is great. It's hilarious. Torture. I've heard people say it is torture to have to sit up there that long and have meetings. I think it's fantastic. If y'all want to sit up there and buy polluted property, which makes no sense, and everybody knows it, Josh Street, Brian Granger, who else? Jenna Halligus and Janice Lucas. They're all determined to and everybody knows that this property that we don't know what it's worth. It was appraised between $750,000 and $1.2 million, depending. But it was bought for $800,000 a couple of years ago. All of those appraisals are nullified because of the environmental report that says that the Chevron, the former repair station, is so polluted, especially in the soil. But if you were to listen to Brian Granger or Josh Street, they say, well, we're fixing the asbestos above the ground, and we're just going to lay some concrete over it and build a parking lot right there in St. Andrew. That doesn't do anything, and you know it. You know it. I want their names attached to it. I mean, even though they know that the carcinogens, that the toxic pollutants under the ground, they know it is seeping into the water. There is a tank still under there. There's fuel. There's batteries. They don't care. We just want to sell it. And we'll give you $1 million for it, even though nobody knows what the property's worth. Everybody knows that a seriously polluted piece of property on the waterfront is a liability. And nobody would buy it with their own money. You think Janice Lucas would write a check for $1 million for that property only if it said paid for by the taxpayers. Same with every one of them. I'm going to show you how WMBB reported the story, and I'm going to tell you what the commissioners are trying to do. Mayor Doc Rowan is trying to stop this insanity. There is absolutely no explanation for overpaying for this piece of property that's legitimate. There's not. I would bet, and I don't know this for sure, but I would bet the puppet master that leads them around by the nose, William Harrison, the local kingmaker in downtown, the big attorney that everybody's scared to death of, including me. But, someone's got to tell you the truth. I got a feeling he and his partner want that property. They got to get the multi-use pathways. They got to get some way to get the migrants up and down and get all that federal grant money. That's the new slush fund. Paths across America. Multi-use pathways. Eminent domain. Hotels for migrants. This is what they're doing. Oh, apartments, high-density housing in neighborhoods. These are all things that the federal government is pushing, and that these people up there on the commission will absolutely do anything to make happen. Because as far as pollution goes, I mean, they'll do a speech and tell you they love where we live, work, and play, and donate to me. But they are, I'm not going to say they're crazy, insane, or dumb. I'm going to say there's something going on and we're not in on it. And it's really very upsetting. What they did at the last meeting is they have decided, here's Josh Street. Let's increase I'm going to show you Josh Street. Tell me if he doesn't. I sometimes even feel guilty doing this. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't, because I've seen how cruel he is. But I mean, the guy is such an obvious. Some people lie, and it's like it's just so slimy. You see it all over him with the eyebrows up, and we're just doing our due diligence for the taxpayer. Dude, you're the one who pushed this. You push it the hardest. You're the one that's the most loyal to your puppet master. It's disgusting. All right. Anyway, let me show you. They voted to extend it. They voted to extend the due diligence period because they don't really know what the property's worth. But city manager Jonathan Hayes, who's making a couple $100,000 a year, and who's supposed to advocate for the city, as all of them are, Jonathan Hayes, never forget the screen record Jonathan Hayes acting like he's really smart, saying, we're going to get the due diligence, and it could be a bad lab reading, could be a faulty lab reading. Okay. Trust the science. These people. Remember him saying, Josh Street too, with just a little deal, we're just going to do what we got to do. And since we have already agreed with the sellers that we'll overpay by a boatload of money, we're going to pay them $7,500 a month for the right to buy it. Now, if it was your $1 million and you had a polluted piece of property with carcinogens that they still don't know what it can be sold for, if at all, it might be completely useless other than a parking lot. They don't know. You wouldn't buy it with your own money. You know why? Because it's toxic. Ding, ding, ding. And it could end up costing more than $1 million to fix, to clean up. It could be less than nothing. It could be $1 million liability. Nobody knows. But Josh Street and Jonathan Hayes want to blow sunshine up your, you know what? Never forget what they're saying, because if this comes back after they pay the money, oh man, nobody could see that coming. Bernie Thompson did, and so did everybody else. I'm going to show you. Let's go to it. Let's go to Tom Huey Lewis in the news, WMBB. Let's see how he, you know what their headline is? Look, Here's the most important thing about real journalism. Remember, I'm a commentator. I'm still a journalist. There are different kinds of journalism. There's straight news, there's commentary, but all of us really have the obligation to pursue the truth, to ask honest questions, to be curious, and to show evidence and to follow the evidence wherever it leads us. The real news story here is that you've got politicians that are hell-bent on paying $1 million for a piece of polluted property. That's the real story. But then look at what the headline is for the WMBB, for Huey Lewis, Tom Huey Lewis in the news. Ooh, watch this. Look at that. Panama City Commissioners search for parking solutions. That's the story. Panama City is still looking for parking solutions, and oh boy, it's not easy. It's not easy. It should be, because we need parking. Man. Journalism, first thing it requires is two big things: humility, being curious, and courage. But Bernie, we may not be able to get advertisers. George Gaynor's car dealership, or whatever the hell. That's in FBI 302s, by the way. That's no longer a theory. Well, I guess maybe it is, because they put theories in their 302s. All right, let's take a look at Tom Lewis and how he reports the story right after this.
Strong, effective leadership. 3 words that could mean the difference between prison and your freedom. I'm Al Saleen, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
All right, let's take it away here, Tom Lewis. Tell the people what they need to know.
City commissioners are searching for parking solutions in St. Andrews, but creating more parking is proving to be a little more difficult than they first thought.
Why? Hey, why, Tom?
Maggie McGuigan tells us city commissioners have decided to hold off building a new lot, at least for now.
Panama City Commissioners recently decided to buy the land on Chestnut Avenue for a parking lot. The cost is just over $1 million, but the former diesel truck repair business needs environmental testing. So
the former diesel truck repair business, oil, gas, tanks under the ground, batteries, but we'll just put concrete over it. The most infuriating part's coming up.
Officials are pushing back their plans until February 15th.
This due diligence time not only just allows us to
watch this guy closely. On a scale here, I want to look at your, and I mean it now, on a scale of 1 being, and be honest, 1 being, Baghdad Bob, right? Remember Baghdad Bob in the Gulf War, where the bombs are going up around him, or hell, CNN, mostly peaceful protests, and there's buildings engulfed in flame. That would be a 1, complete lie. 10 is you've never told a lie. What is Josh? Is he pulling your leg? Is he just trying to is he in on something that we're not? What do you think? Watch this guy.
To make sure and double check, recheck all the things we need to do on the environmental side, and ensure that public is perfectly protected and that we're addressing all concerns there. But
we're going to make sure that the public's perfectly protected and we're addressing all concerns there. Look at the guy's face.
All concerns there, but also chase after a few more grant funds that'll help us ensure that we're not having to tap into regular budget dollars.
All right, I want to talk about that. Chase some grant money. That's why nobody would pay $1 million of their own money, because you don't have access to chase grant dollars. They think that is good government. Let me tell you how disgusting that is. There are 612 cities in Florida. I don't know how many in the United States, but there are 610 in Florida. No, 612 in Florida. If every city across the United States chased grant money, taxpayer money, so that they could take millions of dollars from taxpayers in other places, federal government, and then overpay for stuff because it's not their money and it's not their stuff. So there's no natural incentive for it to be normal, right? They just want to overpay to their buddies for kickbacks. But here's worse than that to me. Do you know how much $1 trillion is? $1 trillion. The United States, we're something like $37 trillion in debt. It was $5 trillion in 2000. It is way higher than the annual economy. 36 trillion. It's something like you're not going to believe me, but our national debt is something like the interest on it is something like $5 million a minute. That's the national. Here's how much $1 trillion is. You're not going to believe this. If Jesus spent $1 million a day, every single day until now, $1 million a day, every single day until now, he didn't spend $1 trillion. He would have to go on spending $1 trillion a day, every single day, 4 years, 76 years. He would have to spend $1 million every single day for another 676 years to reach $1 trillion. We are $36 trillion in debt. These people are ruining the United States of America, chasing grant money. I have more contempt for them than I can ever tell you. Well, we'll chase more grant money and then we'll overpay for polluted property because we're doing our due diligence for the people, keep the people safe where we live, work, and play. You lying so-and-sos. You are the reason, as much as anything else, that this country is collapsing. And I have such contempt for what you guys do with other people's money. Anyway, let's get back to the story.
To complete this transaction.
Commissioners plan to buy the land with the money they'll make from selling 3 city-owned parcels that can be developed.
So one of the things we talked about today is, does there need to be a requirement that if you're going to purchase it, something has to happen in a period of time? That could be parking, that could be an improvement business, that could be some type of investment.
Look at this guy. All right, so let me tell you this. A few years ago, recently, the city bought another parcel of property over there in St. Andrew. Do you remember where Los Antojitos used to be? They bought that, talking about parking lots. Now they're talking about, well, maybe we'll sell that parcel. And then between grants and, selling that parcel, we'll have enough money to overpay so the city can purchase and have a toxic piece of property that nobody knows what the liability is going to be to clean up. But Josh is excited to do it. We can get grant money. And look at this, man. This is just unbelievable.
Investment in bringing a business or a building.
But some
He's running again, by the way. And in April, I believe it's April. Remember, Josh Street is going to humbly ask for your vote. I humbly ask for your vote. I keep track of the bowl at the church, and really believe in moral stuff. And I hang around with William Harrison.
feel it's not the city's responsibility to provide parking.
We have a piece of property that has been appraised at about $800,000, and the city, the rest of the commissioners want to buy it for $1,011,000. There's no reason that we should be doing this. This is a buyout, and there's really no other use that they could have for this land except for a parking lot.
Mayor Rowan says he's most worried about funding. He points out the city's general fund reserves are at 6.44%, well below the recommended 17%. In Bay County, Maggie McWiggin, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
The city will pay a non-refundable $20,000 deposit for that property and a refundable $7,500 a month for the next 4 months during the.
This is the other reason America is going to hell in a handbag. Whores like this. people who will tell you whatever the government press release is. This dude, I've shown you him before, Tom Huey Lewis in the news director for WMBB. He gets this sort of sadistic glee when their targets get hurt, good people. And when they don't get hurt, the disappointment, and it's like when James Finch, for example, was found not guilty. I thought Tom Lewis looked like he had just looked like he had a bad skin rash. He was trying to, maybe he was sitting on I gotta be cool. He didn't look comfortable. Okay, because they'd been lying to you for God knows how long. That's the other reason that we're in so much trouble. So let's talk about this. They want to chase grants. They want to overpay. What could some of the possibilities be? And why would the city be so eager to rush? But Bernie, we've extended our due diligence. Nobody wants to buy toxic property with their own money, only with other people's money.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome. Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777.
So the terms for Panama City are only 2 years. Panama City Commission. These people have to run every 2 years. Jenna Hallegas's seat is up. I understood that she wasn't going to run again, and she was eager to have served her time. She's hoping to get out on good behavior. But now I'm hearing that maybe she is. I don't think so. I think she's supporting somebody else, and I think there are going to be several people running for that seat. All the big money is going to go to who she supports, I believe. The other seat is Josh Street. Josh Street needs to be kicked to the curb, right? I don't know what he'll do after every meeting, because after every meeting, he goes and has lunch with the dumpster diver, Arthur Cullen, who networks from one government representative to another, passing along what the scheme is that they have devised from on high. And it is not to benefit you. So remember this, Josh Street's up for re-election. Who's running against him, by the way? Josh Street needs to be voted. He should be kept very, very, very far away from government, honestly. In fact, there ought to be a law. If you've done as much damage as this guy, you can't be allowed within, like, what is it, like 800 feet of a city hall, that type of thing. I mean, it's bad. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I've been so busy doing something, I don't think I can tell you about it quite yet, but maybe very, very soon. In fact, I really might be able to tell you a lot more about it very soon. It's super exciting. A little stressful. By the way, I do spill the beans in the behind the scenes video. In fact, I show you me doing it. That's worth $8, don't you think, a month? $80 a year to see me doing it. The thing I'm not sure I can tell you about quite yet. Anyway, it is going to be coming out tomorrow, in tomorrow's behind the scenes video. So if you haven't done it yet and you want to receive at least one behind the scenes video a week, make sure it's easy. All you do is go here. Right there, bernie.substack.com. Yeah, that's the weekly email newsletter. All right. But paid subscribers also get the behind the scenes video. All right. Bernie.substack.com. And I did. If you're on that list, if you've done that, you're going to see what I've been up to. All right. I've got to run, and I will see you back here soon.